Hello, my name's Maloney. Welcome to my presentation. Please do not mind my excessive tabs up on the top. Let's get started. So, I interviewed Rebecca Golden, a program manager from CAPI. CAPI is a nonprofit that helps Southeast Asian immigrants. Some general information about CAPI is that they have two places of operation. Their main headquarters is in Brooklyn Center, and then their second location is on Lake Street. Their mission statement says, guiding self-determination and social equity. So a little bit about CAPI's history. They originally started in 1982 as an Asian food shelf to help the Southeast Asian immigrants that were coming into Minnesota from the Vietnam conflict or the Vietnam War. Since then, it has bloomed quite literally into a multifaceted nonprofit that helps with a lot of different things that I will get to. Populations served by CAPI would be the Hmong immigrant population, the Vietnamese immigrants, Cambodian immigrants, Karen immigrants, and then they also partnership with other immigrant programs. From all of their programs, they're currently serving 5,000 immigrants. Now, that is a big number. So I asked Rebecca, how do you maintain that 5,000, that number, that big number? And so Rebecca said, they sometimes go door knocking, just letting people know about CAPI. And then, but they don't really do that anymore. And then they also do, they do some booth work at Southeast Asian festivals. And then Rebecca said that their biggest way of recruiting people, immigrants, to come into their programs is through word of mouth. And I kid you not, from an Asian perspective, or my Asian perspective, word of mouth is a very strong way of getting help, or getting people to come in and get people interested. There's a total of 4 programs that CAPI currently runs, but don't let that number fool you, because within each of these programs they have mini programs within them. So for example, their food and nutrition program, they have their Asian food shelf, which is still up and running, and then they have a community garden in which a lot of the immigrants that are still very much into gardening, that they participate in. And then they also have people assisting immigrants with their SNAP and food stamps. And then in their health and human services, they have help with the MNsure enrollment, and then a Hmong Seniors program, which is a day program that Hmong seniors get together and they go on little day excursions, have some adventures, get to see Minnesota a little bit. And then they also have their workforce development program, which Rebecca is the manager for. And this program is a very big program, and from what it sounded like, it's quite well laid out. So for example, they have CNA training, which is Certified Nursing Assistant training. And for those of you that don't know, there's colleges that have this training, and it can get kind of expensive. But with CAPI, if you can get into that program, it's free. And so it's a very wonderful program to get into. Another program that they have under workforce is the Minnesota Family Investment Program, which is funded by the Minnesota government. And they have career pathway programs. So a lot of these programs sound really general, but from what Rebecca said, it seemed like, they have strict guidelines in there for people to follow, and that if people aren't able to meet those guidelines, and then they can't get the certification and whatnot. And so it's very, well laid out. And the last one, their civic and community engagement program, works very well hand in hand with their mission statement, in that they do a lot of door knocking to engage the Southeast Asian immigrant people to learn about, voters' rights and registering for voting, and then learning about different candidates that may be running for different offices around them. And so getting them to be knowledgeable about that is a very big thing. So when I asked Rebecca about what it is that, how teachers can help, or ESL teachers can help with CAPI, she basically said that for us to keep calm and keep our eyes and ears open. So, if we do have families or students that can get help from CAPI, that we recommend CAPI to our families that we help. And that was what her biggest advice for us. And then for advocacy advice, Rebecca said two things. One, that, we make sure that we meet people where they're at. So if you and I are trying to help someone who has no idea about culture, language, rules, regulation, school, that we meet them where they are at, because quite honestly, not knowing any of that is kind of like being a brand new baby. You're not going to be able to do much unless someone is able to meet you where you're at. Another advice that she had was to not overgeneralize. So just because you've helped one Hmong immigrant does not mean that the way you've helped them and that process that you went through in helping them is going to be the same for all the other Hmong people. And that's quite true, So Rebecca was really big on individualizing the way that we help people. And as teachers, we know that we shouldn't overgeneralize, especially when it comes to teaching students. And that is the end. So I have provided CAPI's website at the bottom. It does say CAPI USA, and I did clarify that with Rebecca, and she said that, because I asked her, I was like, is CAPI a nationwide nonprofit, or is it, Minnesota statewide nonprofit? And she said it's only statewide. So don't get intimidated by that USA in there. But other than that, thank you so much. Enjoy your day. Goodbye.